Hey guys, I messed up big time. The entire tutorial calling the product a water bottle. Ugh. And I see that clearly now. We're making a Tumbler configurator. But you know, words should not define who or what we are. I do apologize. Without further ado, this tutorial, we're going to build a water bottle, but like a virtual one, as a high quality, fast loading, web ready, 3D configurator that you can embed on your storefront. We have a lid and a bottle. Simple as that. We're gonna go ahead and drag these in to upload them into the studio. They pop right into the left side assets along with our graveyard of old lids. We can click them to add them to the scene. Super small bottle. That won't hydrate anybody. So let's just zoom in here. Let's click on the layers panel over here. We'll give these some names to keep things organized and help the AI do its job. Then we'll right click, new layer. We'll give this a name, water bottle, and then drag the lid and the bottle into the water bottle. Let's resize this. Top level container, resizing, a little more resizing. That's a solid size. To make this centered in the camera, we're going to click the camera down here. We'll go to the right sidebar, click on camera, and let's go and add a camera control effect. We'll select auto frame, which is the bread and butter. We'll then select the orbit cam, some more bread, some more butter. Open the auto frame card, and let's zoom out just a wee bit. If I hit tab to go into UI mode, we can see what we're looking at. We can just really appreciate the hydration that this thing's going to give. All right, now let's make it look pretty. We're going to remove all the light from the scene. So we'll go over to the light over there. We'll delete it. Then our scene settings here on the right side, we can just give 0 ambient lighting. Yes, it looks very black until we add an ENV map. I have a few locked and loaded here, ready to go. I'm going to scroll down through some assets until we find the one worth fighting for. And it's this guy right here. Add that to the scene. Still black. So let's click on the bottle. No for use original material so that we can do what we want with it. And now we will just simply crank up the ENV map and it starts to get very shiny. 0.4 seems like a solid number. Let's then crank up the roughness. And then against all odds, we are going to turn down the metalness. This is far too white. So we'll go to the color selector and let's give it a nice subtle blue. There we go. If we hit tab again, it's starting to look decent, but more to do. So when you zoom into a water bottle, you look really close and squint your eyes, you're going to find that really bumpy, rigid texture. So let's give it that. We'll go over to the normal map on the right sidebar. We'll add a new media. And I've uploaded one that I found on Google. We'll click that, add it to it. Well, that doesn't look right. So we'll scroll down and we'll do auto scale to maybe around 12 or so, 10, maybe a little finer grain than that. So we'll go with 12. Okay, that looks decent. Obviously very hardcore. So we'll scroll back up and we got to lessen the normal map amount, make it really subtle. So you can't really see it unless you zoom in, but you know it's there. Okay, it's starting to come to life. We can do a few more things here. Let's go to clear coat on the right sidebar material panel. We can bring that up to 0.47 or so. It starts to give it that sheen, kind of like a plasticky wrap type feel. But we want this to be subtle. So we're going to crank up the clear coat roughness to really just tune it down. Let's make this just a little bit brighter. We'll hit tab again to just check it out. It's starting to look pretty good. Let's go and make this lid look like a lid. Click on it, hit no for use original material. We can turn this ENV map up, give it some life, bring metalness down a bit, and then bring roughness down as well to make it feel a bit reflective. As you can see, as I move this left and right, you can see this thing start to reflect more light, have more realism in a lid. Do this a few times because it's fun. Okay, I'm liking the look of this. So let's add some shadow so it looks a bit more real as it hits the ground. A few ways we could add shadow here in Aircada. The far most performant way, though, is going to be to add just a normal PNG, a blurred black image. So I'll go over to assets and I've uploaded this little circle here. And I've also uploaded a just kind of a shadow like PNG. We'll start with this one. This is going to be kind of the ambient shadow. I don't know if that's what you call it, but we're calling it that. Bring the transparency down to make it super subtle, maybe even a little bit more. So it's time to give it a peek and that's looking pretty solid. Is in the eye of the beholder, which is me. I am the beholder. And since this is a Vivo water bottle, we're going to add their logo to the bottle now. One way to do that, super simple, is to add a sticker effect to the bottle itself and just attach the logo. So we click the bottle, we go to material effects on the right sidebar and the bread and butter, I keep saying that, but this is the bread and butter sticker. We click that to add the sticker effect here. We'll open the sticker card, click on the texture selector, navigate to the logo I've uploaded. There it is. Click it, add it. And if I rotate the bottle here, we can see it showing up. It's a bit aggressively big, I know. So we're going to shrink that down. On the sticker effect, there's this scale knob. So we'll just crank that down. Then we'll adjust the Y offset and bring it downtown. I missed fun. And just like that, we have a branded bottle. Aircada is a configurator platform. We're going to add custom text sticker right here that the customer will be able to type in and add anything they want, anything. So we'll minimize the sticker effect here and we're going to add one more. There it is right there. We'll confirm it and we've got our second sticker effect. Let's give it a name. Once again, we want to keep things well named so that the AI has a sense of this project. It makes things easier for everyone. You're welcome, robot. Next sticker. Very descriptive. Let's open up that sticker panel and hover over the texture and color. We'll see the socket panel show up there. We can hover that, and this gives us some different effects we can click on. We're looking for the text image. So we'll select that, and out comes a socket panel. Hello, turtle. I like turtles. Let's name this socket panel as well. We'll just call it the custom text operator. We probably don't even have to do that, but why not? Once again, the more descriptive we can be, sometimes it helps the AI when we try to one-shot prompt in the coming steps. We'll keep the font how it is now, but we'll of course allow the user to be able to select different fonts. We'll hook that up soon. For now, we can just go ahead and close this. The customer is also going to be able to add an image right here. So we'll just add one more sticker. We'll head over to the right sidebar once again, close the text sticker, and let's add one more. We'll select sticker and confirm. Double click to rename image sticker. Let's open that. We'll just add an image for right now. Anything will work. Here's the tree of life, or so they say. And let's make the image go behind the sticker. So we can just drag the image sticker right on top of the text sticker there. And one last thing here is that these different stickers need to be all the same color because it's going to be an engraving effect. So there's going to be no color except for a light gray to kind of simulate an engraving on a water bottle effect. So let's open the stickers again and just change the color to a gray like that. Open up the image sticker. Let's replace the color and give it another gray color to blend in with the text. And lastly, so that this thing is a little more fun to look at while we're building this, we'll click the text sticker and just move it down right there and change the text, your text here. Scale it down a bit, move it down some more, make the tree a bit smaller as well. 3D scene is set up. The water bottle's looking juicy. We've added a custom text sticker and a custom image sticker to the bottle. And now it's time to hook up the UI. About 2 years ago, we'd be doing this manually with code, but now we're gonna have AI do the bulk of it. Maybe even one-shot this. Anti-gravity pulled up, but you can use Cursor or Codex or whatever your go-to is. And I have a blank template set up. If you haven't set up a base Aircada template yet, then there's a video below that will show you how to get set up using the Aircada CLI so that you're ready to start configuring. I'll start by running npm run dev. We can navigate over to the app.tx, which will be just the main kind of root of this React project. We're using Tailwind and TypeScript. And the Aircada viewport here, that is going to be the 3D scene that we're going to be showing on this 2D DOM. So in order to get the agent to create the entire UI from scratch here and hook it up to the 3D configurator, we are going to start with the design manifest. And so each project has a design manifest. And this is where you are going to type out the specs of the project. We see this show up. And what this is just a summary of the project. Everything that can be configured, pricing, dynamic pricing changes, all the business logic, the general feel of the configurator. Just going through it really quick, it just goes over available customizations, bottle color, text engraving, and the sticker. It gives a little overview, goes through the available colors, and so on and so forth. The more info we give the agent with this design manifest, the better job it's going to do. And then the next most important asset is to have an image of the UI so that the agent knows what this should look like. We put these in the docs folder here. This will be ingested by the agent as it starts its process. This shows a just very simple, clean UI where we can change the colors on the right, click text, sticker, and add to cart. I also have the mobile interface, and this is going to just give it a quick glance at what it should look like on mobile. And with these 3 files in place, what we can go ahead and do is head over to the chat and we'll hit /manifest. And this will pretty much try to one-shot this. I'm on Gemini 3.5 Flash low. We should probably go to medium, but let's see if we can nail it on low, save a few tokens, and we'll hit the blue button and hope for the best. Now we can see it just created the Bevo operator. So this is kind of the main logic chunk here. It has all the inputs and outputs, and the inputs are what change when the customer clicks on an option, and then it outputs to the 3D. So kind of connecting the two together. And just finished with the main app.tsx. 450 lines of code, so it probably should have created subcomponents for all this. A little bit messy, something we should add to our agent workflow. We're in the green, we'll hit save, and a drum roll here. This looks pretty good. Let's play around and see if it works. I see we have our colors here. We can click through them. Sage green and blush pink, cream, olive, and charcoal. Notice how the background changes when we're moving these. That's a great effect. Fun for the whole family. Now, what happens when we click on text? We see a nice little sidebar slide in. UI is not perfect. It looks a little bit like an AI made it, but it's not too bad either. I think we can up this ante a little bit. Let's type in here. Little branded Aircada bottle. I see the text jumped down when we typed. That's a little strange. Let's change the font. See what we got. Baby roar. Pacifico, classic Arial, change ball, lobster. Yeah, looks pretty good. So we have a two-step UI, UX. I'll click next size and placement and resize the text, small and big. Awesome. Let's move it back up and call it done. You can see the bottom button here is flowing off the screen a little bit. We'll hit done there and let's add a sticker now. Okay, so we see these little star icons. That's not what we want, and missing a couple text labels there. It's not perfect, but it's a great start. So there's the tree of life showing up on the text, the dotted map, splatter, a nice little birdie, and a flower. Once again, we can go to next size and placement, and I'm gonna change this, move it around a little bit. It's fun, isn't that cute? I see there's no way to go back to change the sticker, so we'd have to hit done and click it again. So it's not great. I like the dotted map. Crank its size up. Aircada's gone global, baby. Let's go. Let's check this out on mobile real quick. We can hit the little mobile preview button up here on the top right, and that doesn't look too bad either. It's not great. We want this bottle to fill up more space here, like the reference image. And this UI container can come down. We see there's some stuff being cut off on the bottom as well. These colors look way too small to be able to easily hit. And this text here is taking up way too much room on our limited vertical space on the mobile phone. All right, I'm just going to document all this, write up a little set of instructions in a Google Doc, and we're going to paste that into the agent in anti-gravity, let the AI do its thing again, and we'll check it out. So we now build configurators with Google Docs. We'll copy this, head over to anti-gravity, paste it into the chat box, and let her rip. It finished thinking here. Let's check. Much better. Looks way cleaner. So the desktop UI is passable. Let's check out mobile one more time, and let's just fix this up. We'll use the same process. We'll go to Google Docs, we'll type out a little spec sheet, give it to the agent, and let it do its thing. We go through the different options. It just feels and looks super clean. If I click the sticker and it pulls it up, once again, I put this into a horizontal scroller as well, which makes it feel way cleaner. And when we hit next, we have plenty of room to use these sliders. $32. So I'm calling that for now. The last step here is the most fun step, where we can customize things really easily with a nice visual interface, and we can add dynamic pricing by changing a few different inputs. For this, let's just exit UI mode. We can click on the XR button there, come back to the main 3D scene viewer. For this last step, we can go ahead and hit merchant mode over here in the top left. Opens up this sidebar panel, which gives us some easy options to really customize all the different colors and stickers and fonts and adjust pricing. We click the money sign here. We can see there's a base price of $32. So that's where that 32 comes from down here. And now let's open up colors. We see a Google Sheets like interface here, and this color is showing what color shows up here, and the background end and background start is controlling the gradient. If we want to change one, we can just click on it and change the color. And let's say we want to change the price when the pink one and the black one are clicked. So we can easily just click into the price here. The name's being cut off. We'll add in the difference. We'll add in the amount it should add. So let's say $4 more when we click on the charcoal button. And let's say hot pink is a hot commodity, so we're going to do 15 for that. Now, when we click on the pink button, we can see it added $15. 32 plus 15 is 47, and black 36. So dynamic pricing has honestly never been easier. We are so used to Shopify's terrible variant system. No offense, we love you, Shopify, but they make it so hard. If you want to add $3 for that, $5 for that, you have to get this giant list of variants laid out and do all the math on your own. It's awful. This makes it way much easier. Let's go ahead and add a new color option. Let's click add new row. You can see it added down there. Ideally, we'd want it to come up on the side here, but the way we lined out the UI, this is a grid of 6 columns. So now we're going to create the next column there. Maybe we don't like this green color at all. Maybe olive is not our thing. So if we go over here, right click on the row, and we can delete it. Cool. So it vanishes like that. And let's add a new one. I'm feeling a navy blue. So if we click on the color circle here and go to blue, make it nice and dark. Maybe that's a little bit too much color. We'll go a little left there. It's a good navy. And then for the background, let's complement that with maybe a much lighter blue. We'll update the background start to give it a gradient effect. And now let's click it. That looks good. The text down here is blending in a little bad. We should probably lighten up this background. Okay, that's much better. And let's give this a label, navy blue. Now it's the exact same process for sticker and font. If we open these up, we can see all the different stickers. If we want to add a new one, we just hit add row. We can select a media item, anything you've uploaded already or anything from the library, and you just click it, it adds, and it will then show up when we hit sticker here. So for these, we do want to stick with PNGs that have a little bit of depth to them. Here's some cutout images, random ones. We'll do a nice little tree. We already have a tree, so let's do a tent and some trees. We click that, and there we go. Obviously, it doesn't look good when you have the text there, but if we scale it down, move it up, move it right, it doesn't look too bad. Hit done. And when we hit add to cart, it's the last step. It's going to show us all the line items that would flow naturally into Shopify, Shopline, WooCommerce, or just your custom API that you're making. I do believe that wraps this up. There's nothing more to do. We are done.